2. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to NaniTube. Today, we're covering One Piece episodes 501 to 600. We left off with Luffy shattered, the war ended by Shanks' aura alone, and the whole world is now rebalancing power. Now, we're into Aftershock, and One Piece does this genius thing where it doesn't let you sprint away from grief. It makes you sit in it. And then it shows you why Ace mattered by rewinding the story to where it all began. We jump back to Luffy's childhood when Garp basically drops him off with the mountain bandits like, "Congrats, you're being raised by chaos." Luffy meets Ace and immediately decides, "Yep, that's my brother now." Ace responds the only reasonable way, "Please stop following me." And then he proceeds to try to get rid of Luffy for months. But Luffy has negative shame and infinite stamina, so eventually, Ace can't shake him. Then we meet the missing piece, Sabo. Sabo's a kid living in a junkyard kingdom called Grey Terminal, dreaming of freedom. And he's hiding something big, because Sabo isn't some random kid. He's a noble, who hates nobles. He ran away from the life he was born into because it felt like a cage with a nice wallpaper. The three boys bond the way all legendary brotherhoods form, by stealing, surviving, and being way too brave for their age. They make their famous oath, not best friends, not crew, brothers. And the vibe is clear. These three were always meant to chase the sea together. Then the world reminds them it's cruel. A pirate crew targets them. Adults get involved. The nobles decide Grey Terminal is basically trash day and plan to burn it down to clean up the city's image. Sabo tries to fight back, gets crushed by the system he ran from, and everything spirals. Ace and Luffy survive it, but the dream gets shattered. And that's the point, because now you understand. Ace wasn't just Luffy's brother. Ace was the first person who taught Luffy what it means to choose your family. So we snap back to the present, where Luffy is still broken, still blaming himself, still stuck in that moment. He wants to disappear, and that's when Jinbei does the most important thing anyone could do for him. He doesn't say, "Cheer up." He says, "Look at what you still have." And it hits. Luffy remembers his crew. Not as pirates, not as fighters, as his people. And that's the spark. Luffy makes a decision. He's not going to throw his life away. He's going to come back stronger. For them. So Luffy sends a coded message to the crew. Wait 2 years, same place.
ちゃんと届くかな、あいつらに。
記事を見れば伝わるはずだ。君たちならちゃんと伝わる。そんな気がする。
Then, training begins. Rayleigh takes Luffy to a brutal island where everything wants to eat him. And Luffy basically spends 2 years getting humbled by nature and rebuilt by Haki. Two years pass, and the world has been waiting for Straw Hat Luffy like it's a sequel drop. Luffy returns to Sabaody and immediately runs into a problem. There are fake Straw Hats running around with his name, and somehow people are falling for it. These bootleg pirates are cashing in on the brand like it's merch fraud. The real crew starts arriving one by one, and you can feel how much they've grown. They don't just look different, they move different. Zoro shows up acting like he's never been lost in his life. Sanji returns with a lot going on, poor guy. Usopp is built now. Nami's sharper. Frankie upgraded himself like he found a tech tree. Robin's calm in a scary way. And Chopper is more capable, but still adorable enough to sell plushies. And then we get the reunion. No big speech, just the crew together again, like the universe finally clicked back into place. The Marines try to intervene, but the Straw Hats aren't the same rookies who got erased here. They launch the Sunny, coat the ship, and dive under the sea toward the next frontier. So it looks like 1.4% of viewers are subscribed. It's free and it helps me out a lot. Thanks. Fishman Island is stunning. Giant bubble city, mermaids, sea beasts, dreamlike visuals. But the story underneath is heavy. This island lives with the scars of racism, slavery, and violence from the surface world. We meet Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess, who's basically been trapped in fear for years because a psychotic fishman named Vanderdecken won't stop targeting her. And the main threat emerges fast, Hody Jones. Hody's the next villain, but what makes him scary isn't raw strength, it's what he represents. He's hatred, with no personal origin story. He hates humans because he was taught to hate them. He's a product of pain passed down like a cursed inheritance, and he's planning a coup. Meanwhile, we learn the island's deeper history. Fisher Tiger, who freed slaves and became a symbol, Otohime, the queen who believed coexistence was possible, and even Arlong, whose story hits different when you understand what shaped him. The flashbacks don't excuse anything, but they explain the wound. Fishman Island is basically asking, what happens when trauma becomes culture? The conflict peaks as Hody's crew attacks. Shirahoshi is targeted, and the entire island is on the verge of collapse. Then, Luffy steps in. And this is where you really feel the time skip payoff. Luffy uses Conqueror's Haki like it's a flex, knocking out huge crowds instantly. It's the show saying, he's still Luffy, but now the world has to respect it. Luffy fights Hody, and Hody keeps juicing himself with energy steroids, turning his body into a time bomb. But it doesn't matter, Luffy's stronger, and more importantly, Luffy's clarity is stronger. He doesn't give a lecture, he just protects his friends and refuses to let the island be destroyed. The final disaster is the giant ship Noah, falling toward Fishman Island like it's an apocalypse. The Sea Kings intervene. Shirahoshi's mysterious power starts to reveal itself, and the island is saved, barely. And the big emotional truth lands. The future doesn't get fixed by one fight, but one fight can stop the cycle from getting worse. Luffy leaves Fishman Island with a new bounty, a louder reputation, and a world that's officially noticing the Straw Hats again. The Straw Hats enter the new world and immediately get hit with chaos. A distress call comes in from an island that shouldn't exist. It's burning and freezing at the same time. Naturally, Luffy votes yes instantly. They land on Punk Hazard, and it feels like a science experiment that escaped containment. The crew finds a terrifying environment, mysterious enemies, marines involved, and children who should not be here. Then Law shows up and drops the big move. He proposes an alliance with Luffy, and not for friendship, for war. Law's plan is basically, let's take down a Yonko, or an emperor, which is insane, but also exactly the kind of sentence Luffy hears as, say less. They discover the island is tied to Caesar Clown, a scientist running illegal experiments, poisoning the place, and using kids like lab equipment. Meanwhile, Smoker and Tashigi arrive with the Marines, and the situation becomes a three-way mess. We have the Straw Hats and Law versus Caesar's science horror show versus Marines trying to damage control. And Punk Hazard gets weirder by the minute. Bodies get swapped, people get split up, the crew is sprinting between labs, gas weapons, and monsters that shouldn't exist. Then we get the "oh, this is serious" moment. Caesar unleashes his full deadly gas weapon, and suddenly, it's not just a fight, it's survival. And the arc ends this section with the Straw Hats and Law getting pinned into a dangerous situation, while Caesar moves to reclaim the children. This is the new world tone shift. The enemies aren't just strong, they're organized, they're connected, and they don't play fair. And that wraps this chunk of the story. Luffy's not just recovering from Marineford anymore, he's leading again. The crew is reunited, trained, and finally stepping into the new world, where every island feels like a trap. Next time, Punk Hazard fully explodes into a bigger conspiracy. Law's alliance starts paying off, and the Straw Hats realize they just walked into something way larger than one island. If you enjoyed the recap, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.